Well, our first radio vacation station travel show is all about Palisade, Colorado. It is in the Grand Valley, which is in the northwest corner of Colorado. It's home to the Colorado River. It's around the corner from the Colorado National Monument. There's a lot of wine and fruit trees, especially peaches. This place is known for peaches. And it's got art, it's got history, it's got nature trails. It is a beautiful downtown and very historic downtown, and we're excited to have Andrew Weber. He's the executive director of the Palisade Chamber of Commerce join us to give us an overview of the area so you know why you need to come here to play. And once you come here to play, you may want to stay and maybe stay longer and move here. I know, I would live here very easily. So
Me
I encourage
too.
you to go to the website. It is PalisadeCoc.com. So welcome, Andrew. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, it is great to have you here, and it's been a long time since we've seen you after this morning, right? Visiting you in your office is right downtown across from the Blue Pig Gallery, and you're right in the heart, but also across from the Palisade Plaza, which is a really unique little plaza, but you've got a cool amphitheater and public art there, and your downtown is, I love your, it's charming.
Beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We're very privileged to have you work with us and to come visit and have us on your show.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
We're really lucky to be here. Seriously, this whole thing of how we ended up here. Next thing you know, we're just going. And that from Dancing Moon and B&B said, y'all have to come here. We're like, okay. And so we did. Getting back on the road with this whole COVID thing has been interesting. And I think it's really important as travelers, and people, everybody wants out, right? To kind of seek out rural areas like Palisade and Clifton, and because there's fresh air. It's really, I think, also supporting small town America, which Palisade is, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, we're very, we have a lot of independently owned and operated businesses out in Palisade and Western Colorado as a whole. And it's a community that's very engaged in the success of the community and the success of individual people and families within the community. So I would say it's very American, it's very community focused, and it's very agriculturally focused.
And the people are really, really friendly. I mean,
well, thank you. I'm happy to hear that.
We were photographing a sculpture this morning, and a lady got out of her car, came over, and explained the background of the sculpture to us. You were like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't get that everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think people tend to go out of their way to help people out and make sure they express, what they're interested in and what they have passion for. And Palisade is just a wonderful community.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people contact us to come visit, and I know you sent out an email, and lo and behold, it's like, I don't know how we're going to get everything done in the time we're here, and our time got extended even. We're going to be here through the 28th, and we go to Florence, Colorado from here, but it's amazing how much there is to see and do. Let's just touch on the wineries real quick. How many wineries are in this immediate area?
Sure. So we have about 30 wineries in the immediate area, most of which are in Palisade. We do have one up on the Redlands, which is just west of Palisade, above the Colorado River. And we're privileged with the climate that we have, with the winds that we have and the soil and the high altitude. It brings forth a plethora of opportunities in the wine industry.
And then you have peaches as well, fruit, and so you have your own byway on this too. Is the byway just here in Palisade and Clifton, or does it go around the whole valley area?
It's actually Palisade primarily and East Orchard Mesa. It's a 26-mile byway that we have available. And the beauty about it is you can drive if you want to drive in your vehicle, or you can ride on a bike, or you can have an electric bike, motorcycle, and others like to hike or walk the trail. So depending on the three different sections, there's a 5-mile, a 7-mile, and a 25-mile, depending on which one you want to check out. But there's beautiful views, there's vineyards, there's orchards, there's fruit stands, there's a pie shop, there's alpaca farms, and also lavender farms. So you have quite a quite a bit at your disposal if you choose to come visit.
And part of that too is like when you think about we're all getting out of the quarantine shelter in place and getting back out, but I think some things are going to be partially open. We're going through that period of change. We're looking for things that we can socially distance but still have a good time. So, the drives, the public art you have. I know you have a historic walking tour that we're going to want to do real soon. Those are the kind of things that we can, as travelers, look to do, and you have it all.
Yeah, that we do. I mean, we're definitely blessed. We have a lot to offer, not only our locals, but those that come to visit. Between the Grand Mesa National Forest, which is just east of us, we have the Book Cliffs with the wild horses, and then, of course, we have the Colorado National Monument and McGinnis Canyons just to the southwest of us. So there's a lot to see, a lot of open space. About 76% of all the land in Mesa County actually is public land. So we definitely have a lot of open space for people to come visit and for people to live here and enjoy.
The thing you also chatted with us about, and we noticed this is very interesting. Our friend Jim Ostick, he's a cyclist. He cycled the perimeter of the country, walked across the country, all as a retired earth science teacher. So he's created a Facebook group just for bike racks and then he has a blog on gazebos. And he's kind of trained us to look at a community in a way of when a community has bike racks and gazebos, you can see that there's community pride and they're thinking about quality of life for their locals as well as the visitor. And you rain on gazebos and bike racks. And when we say gazebos, it could be the picnic shade shelters or that beautiful amphitheater you have at Veterans Memorial Park. And there's a information gazebo in the downtown district and the amphitheater in the Palisade Plaza, but all the bike racks. This is a biking community. You've got bike lanes, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So there's cyclists that are out cycling among the vineyards and taking in the mountain views. But then there's mountain biking, and that's something I find interesting because you're not far from Moab, right? And
no, we're very close to Moab, less than an hour and a half drive. And the interesting thing is between Moab, Fruita, and soon to come the Palisade Plunge, which will be a 33-mile downhill mountain biking trail. Really, western Colorado and eastern Utah kind of take the cake when it comes to mountain biking. So Palisade is excited about this downhill mountain biking trail, and we're looking forward to it being completed next year. And we do believe that it will be a great destination for those downhill mountain bikers.
Wow.
I'll film it. You couldn't even get us on a bicycle while we're here, right? You know how we might fall over.
I was trying hard just to get you to ride the the Fruit and Wine Byway, but maybe next time, or you'll warm up to the idea maybe over time.
Well, I'm starting to look at all these roads, and we've done nice walks around the B&B here at Dancing Moon and seen deer, horses, and all kinds of birds. That's the one thing. Oh my gosh, you have such amazing bird life. I want all my birding friends to come here, and I know our audience, we have a lot of birders, and that is such a to get out, get the fresh air, identify birds, and birds that you may not, if you're coming from out of state or out of the country, you're going to see birds that you don't normally see here, and that's another attraction, is to go out and look at all the wildlife. And the birds.
Oh yeah, but between the Colorado River and the Gunnison River that meet in Grand Junction, and the riverways and the River Trail and the Audubon Trail, we definitely have a lot to offer for those bird lovers.
Oh, I know. I'm glad you brought up the Audubon Trail. So Nancy and I were like, come on, Nancy, how much more time do we need?
I know. I want to do that. I think I want to be I want to do the bicycling thing, but I want to do it on a tricycle.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
With a cup holder.
That way you can enjoy your wine there, right? So.
That's the whole thing. She's just scared of spilling and falling off,
That's right.
I don't blame you. That's okay.
Well,
thank you.
The one thing I also noticed, and I know, and I want to touch on what's open and what's not, what's happening. You are a festival community, and I think that's really cool for small communities, is to have those big festivals. The community gets out, and it is fun as a traveler to go to community festivals. You get a sense of what the town's about. You get that joy, and festivals always really, it's like public art tells you what a community is about, and festivals, I feel, do the same.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have plenty of festivals in Palisade, and they range. In a typical year, it all kicks off with our International Honeybee Festival, typically in April, and then we also have our Grand Valley Bank Brews and Cruise, where we had over 30 breweries from all over the state here in Colorado come to Palisade. And then we also have our Palisade Bluegrass Festival. It's our Bluegrass and Roots Festival, and that occurs every June typically. This year it's been postponed. And then, of course, not to be forgotten, our Palisade Peach Festival, which is our largest festival. We actually, on the wholesale market, Palisade is responsible for about $40 million in peaches every year. And they are the world's best peaches. Our high altitude and hot days and cool nights really make for big, sweet peaches. And we also, this year, if we're enabled to have it, we actually have, following our Colorado Mountain Wine Fest, we actually have a Palisade Art Festival. And then in December, we also have our Old Fashioned Christmas Festival. So we do have plenty of festivals. The Wine Fest is a big one as well. And both Wine Fest and the Palisade Peach Festival and the Palisade Bluegrass Festival are actually held at Riverbend Park, and that's just a beautiful park right off the Colorado River. And thousands of people come out for that every year. And historically, it's been a success not only for the vendors and the town of Palisade and the business community, but those that visit. They tend to come back year after year, and they bring friends with them. So we're very proud of our festivals, and we're delighted to have them. This year, of course, with COVID-19, a lot of our festivals early on had to postpone until later. But we're staying optimistic, and hopefully with our low COVID-19 count here in Mesa County and with some of the measures that we put in place, we're hoping for a strong finish to the year.
Absolutely. This whole COVID part, it's people want out. There's going to be changes of how things happen. But I think really your website, you go right in your website again, it's palisadecoc.com. You have a wonderful visitor guide on there. And, we're like, we come out to Palisade, and we're like, okay, what's there? And I was like, oh. And then next thing you know, Annette, I was talking to her, and she was talking with you and everything. And she's like, well, what do you want to see? And I'm like, okay. And then the list got longer and longer and longer. And I'm like, but it was like such a quick, easy way for us to plan. But you also have a COVID update, and I've really enjoyed following you on Facebook because you show off a different chamber member or business every single day. And I think that's really nice that you do that to keep that community spirit going. And also, it's a really nice way to learn about the town. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you had that, So it's a really cool way. But you've got that link up on your website, so you keep that updated for everyone. So that's probably one of the best places for travelers to check out, right? For when they plan their trip.
There's really two websites. I'll be selfish. Of course, we have our Palisade Chamber of Commerce website at palisadecoc.com. And then for visiting Palisade, we also have visitpalisade.com. And both will give you a lot of information. There's a lot to see, do, and learn in Palisade. And then with regard to our chamber members, we are actually the fastest growing chamber in Western Colorado. I took over the chamber in April of last year, and we've actually about doubled in size since then. So I feel it's very important to make sure that our members remain the focus of our chamber. They're the reason why we do what we do. And we try to make sure we give them the limelight and spread the information and make sure they're getting their word out there and their message out there. So I really feel fortunate and privileged that you're able to check out our social media page and look at some of those members because they're really the reason that the Palisade Chamber exists.
Well, I wanted to ask, too, because, Nancy, as soon as we got here, we're like, well, I know we travel full time, but Nancy, we would live here. There's certain communities you go, oh yeah, we could be totally set up and cool and and by the way, the peaches are delicious. Annette had them frozen from last year because apparently you guys had a big bounty last year, and so she shared some of her bounty. And They are
Oh, they're
absolutely.
yummy.
So
Mm.
breakfast
Yeah,
with peaches, yeah.
yeah, we have a
Yeah,
long
mimosas.
tradition of peaches here in Palisade, and we're very proud of them. And we do believe they are the best in the world. And you know, that's for a lot of people, it's their way of life and their livelihood. And so it's something that's been going on for years, and it's something that will keep going on for years. And it's part of our culture, it's part of our history, and it's really what makes Palisade Palisade. And then, of course, later on, the wine industry began, and that's become a big part of our community as well, and our economy.
So when you think about, you're showcasing these businesses, and, double in membership, and things are growing. So we know there's the peaches, there's orchards, there's apples. I think someone needs to open an iris farm here because apparently they grow really, really well. So do roses. So I'm just saying. But you've got lavender. You've got artists moving here and living here. What when it comes to someone walking the chamber, because one thing we're noticing already with some of our real estate friends is they're saying that people in big cities like Denver, right, or LA, San Francisco, New York, they're all kind of going, especially with this COVID thing, they're going, we could go out and live in the country and kind of homeschool or have our kids. Distancing thing can work better in places like here in Palisade and Clifton and the Grand Valley. And I know that you've got limited, you people can't just come and build a city here, right? So
Sure.
what kind of person do you think would move here and say, I want to open a real retail, or what do you need in the town, and that kind of thing? If people want to
Sure.
relocate, let's talk about.
Yeah, yeah. Really, we're fortunate enough in Palisade to where Mesa County is north of 150,000 people, and the city of Grand Junction is just a 10-minute drive, and then you have Fruita to the west of Grand Junction, and so we actually have ample opportunity for growth in combination with the city of Grand Junction and the city of Fruita. So although Palisade has agricultural easements and a buffer zone between it and Clifton, there is land available in Palisade for development as well. It is minimal, but with that being the case, as I had mentioned, we do have some available. So from retirees to college graduates that enjoy the outdoor lifestyle, or those that enjoy art or agriculture or some elbow room, between the fresh air, the high desert climate, and surrounded by mountains, Palisade, Grand Junction, and Fruita really have a lot to offer.
Okay, so how far are you from Denver? For those, because I know they're escaping.
Sure,
I know
sure,
they're
sure.
bailing.
So for those that don't know where we're located, we're about smack in the middle of Salt Lake City and Denver, Colorado. So we're about 4-hour drive from each direction, depending on how fast people are driving. But we're kind of in the middle there, and that enables us to have a lot of room. And as I had mentioned before, we're surrounded by about 76% of public land. So as the community grows, it can only grow so much. And a lot of that land and a lot of that scenery and a lot of those sunsets and sunrises are just something you can't take away. So we're very lucky to have that.
And what about, you there's all this public land, but the seasons, what is it like? Because you think of Denver, you think of Collins, and you think it's like Aspen. And so I know you're pretty mild, it feels like to us, and from what we've talked with Annette and Trey and some others. But we're not going to have to get snowplows, right, if we buy a house.
No. The thing about the Grand Valley is we usually have pretty mild winters. Now, every once in a while we have a winter that's a little colder or a little more filled with snow. But for the most part, it's a pretty mild climate. And so especially in the wintertime, we do attract a lot of retirees because of that, and those that just want to get away from the cold. And, our summers in the Palisade area, they do get warm in the summer. But again, with the breeze and the winds that we have and the mountains, it really makes for a nice climate and an ideal climate, again, with the wind and the soil for growing produce, and that's something that Palisade does very well, along with the wine.
So when you living here, I know you've got a family, and what are the schools with regards to quality of life?
Sure. Well, the schools in Palisade are very, very good. They have some of the best, actually, in Mesa County. Palisade High School is a phenomenal program. They actually have an IB program at Palisade High, and they're very proud of that program, and rightfully so. The sports, for those that are sports-minded, are also very good. Palisade's football team and wrestling team are phenomenal, and they have a long history of winning as far as that's concerned. And then also with the marching band, for those that are into the music, at the high school level, have one of the best marching bands around. So Palisade is pretty spoiled in that not only is it a beautiful place to live, but the educational system is very good.
That's good to hear, because that's what people send Nancy and I on a relocation hunt. Right, Nancy?
Mm-hmm.
It's about families or retirement. Like, I want to have my dream home. Where should I go? And this is looking pretty good for a lot of people we know. The Colorado River, and Nancy and I have a thing about the Colorado River. Actually, our hotel headquarters for the tour, when there's times where we just go, okay, it's time to stop, and we have so much content, we have to work for a few months, and just that's all we do, is in Yuma, Arizona, and it's right within walking distance of the lower Colorado. It's the last stretch of the Colorado River going out to Mexico and the Sea of Cortez, and
Sure.
done all this amazing work of redeveloping it, or I would say restoring it, and opening it up for people to be able to go and tube and kayak and walk the trails, and it's an amazing thing that they've done down here. And got a quick turnaround. We got to go see Palisade Base Camp, which we'll be staying next week. We can't wait. We get to go. It's going to be one of our few on the Love Your Park store, but with all the gear we carry, camping is not always the best option because you can't leave stuff in the car. But where we're going looks absolutely beautiful. It's right on the river. So is the river a big draw for people from places like Salt Lake City, or it seems like it's something fun for everybody.
Oh yeah, the river's been hopping, if I can use that word, for the last few weeks, especially since the weather's gotten warm. And the nice part about that is it's really wide enough, and this time of year especially, there's enough water going through it to where you can hop on the river and not feel crowded. And you can actually hop in at Palisade and ride it all the way to Moab if need be. But there's plenty of places to hop on and get off. And there's beautiful scenery along the way between the geology and the plant life and the wildlife. It's really an amazing place.
Okay, so you got two parks. You got the riverfront, and you can do a trail, and obviously you can cycle through there, right? You can cycle anywhere.
Yeah,
really.
there's cycling all over, and a lot of cyclists. The cyclists love the Western Slope as a whole, but especially Palisade, between the Fruit and Wine Byway, and then also for those mountain bikers with the Palisade Rim Trail, and then the City of Fruta and north of Grand Junction. There's plenty of mountain biking trails as well. So for those in the biking community, this is really a mecca for you. If you haven't been out here, it's a really good time. Especially this time of year is a great time. You can social distance while you're outdoor recreating, and enjoy wine and enjoy great food. We have some of the best restaurants downtown Palisade, and it really is just a good place to get away from the city, enjoy nature, but at the same time enjoy the comforts of home and fine dining and great hospitality. So Palisade is really, if it's not on your map, you need to mark it and put an X by it, because it should definitely be a destination.
I agree with that for sure.
I do, whether you're biking or not. You talked about food and restaurants. It's something we haven't touched on because we're kind of in that interesting middle of the road of all of this. And I know we're going to the bakery tomorrow morning, downtown, the bakery. And I know there's a fruit and nut shop we're hoping to go stop by. So there's port out here, by the way, everybody. There's wine and port, and there's a distillery. And then we had a peach mimosa made with peach juice from here, peach
good.
The winery also has peach and apples, and they have like an orchard. But we had, it's Talbot cider. I think I'm getting it right. Talbot cider
Yeah,
mixed with
Talbot
this
cider.
peach juice. Man, I'm telling you,
Mm.
everybody, get rid of the oranges and champagne. I'm just saying, no, you can keep them, but just put this on your menu too for champagne brunch. It's fantastic. But the food part, we haven't had a chance to sample any of that yet, really, and except for I will say Annette and Trey know how to keep you very full and happy.
Wow.
Um, and keep
Mhm.
pouring wine too. They're very, very, very. I mean, hospitality is second to none. I know we're going to be staying at Castle Creek Manor out in Grand Junction. We're going to be staying at Vista and Vineyards. It's going to be another bed and breakfast. We're going to be staying at Palisade Base Camp. We also have Mesa Park Vineyards. It has like an Airbnb. So there's vacation rentals, bed and breakfast. There's camping, but camping also with cabins. So you got tents, you got RVs. What about hotels? And then let's talk about restaurants. But is there hotel lodging too?
Yeah, in fact, the nice part about Palisade is you have some options. You had mentioned Base Camp, and that's a RV resort. They also have cabins and tent sites. We actually have the Spoken Vine Motel, which was just purchased a little while ago and renovated, and it's a beautiful place for those that like a motel. It has beautiful rooms, and it caters especially to those cyclists, hence the name Spoken Vine, and those wine connoisseurs. We also have the Wine Country Inn, which is a beautiful, right off the interstate, surrounded by vineyards, and they offer a lot of wines, and they also have a restaurant in there called Caroline's, and they serve amazing food. And then we have our bed and breakfast, as you had mentioned, and they are very available, and we have quite a few of those. So, and the unique thing about those bed and breakfasts, they all have their own unique appeal and surroundings and views and personalities, and so every guest really has an opportunity to find what fits them and maybe mix it up a little bit and try something new the next time they come to visit.
Mm. And
This
what
is
about
a place you have to come back to more than once, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, as far as with regard to lodging, or with regard to just anything?
Everything.
Palisade.
Everything
Well,
that you can do. The options of.
I'd say that the Fruit and Wine Byway is definitely a must.
Yes.
Whether someone enjoys wine, or whether they just enjoy produce, or whether they just love to cycle or get out and exercise, as well as the views. The views are spectacular. Once you get up on the hill there, you can look out and see forever, all the way out to Utah and the Colorado National Monument, and north of Palisade, the Book Cliffs, and then east, of course, the Grand Mesa, which is the world's largest flat-top mountain. So it's really a beautiful place. I'd have to put that as number one on the list for Palisade, is the Fruit and Wine Byway, just because it encompasses so much, and you can make that loop, and you can head back to town and enjoy a nice meal at one of the wineries or one of the restaurants, and then, of course, head back to your lodging preference.
So the dining is. I saw people eating a little bit today outside, sitting outside, and socially distancing. Sure. And the two couples were sitting and going, "Well, we did this," and they're like, "We did this." Out at each other, social distancing. But it was really cool because they weren't from the area. They were just, on the opposite side of the outdoor dining. And I thought, well, this is cool. And then I wanted to go, I want some food too. But we had breakfast here, which you're going to be full for a while. But what is, in regards to food, what are the kind of options for people?
Sure. As far as food goes, we have everything from pizza at Diorio's Pizza here in Palisade. We have Caroline's Restaurant that I mentioned at the Wine Country Inn. We have Palisade 11.0, which is a great cafe. We have 13 Bricks, which is a cider bistro. And then we have Pesh, which is a newer option that just came available last year, and it's fine dining. And we also have the Purple Cow ice creamery that's going to open up, I believe, here in June. So there's quite a few options, and then of course a lot of the wineries as well serve food also. So and then we also have a brewing company. We have a brewery, the Palisade Brewing Company, and we also have the Peach Street Distillery that also offers food. So there's a lot for a small town here in Palisade. There's a lot of options when it comes to dining, as well as drinking. So we, not just the wine, but you had mentioned the meadery. We also have the brewery, and we have the distillery. And, for those to each their own, we also have 2 dispensaries in town as well. So we do have a lot to offer.
Yeah, you do. So, in regards to things opening, I know the wine tasting rooms aren't quite open yet, and they're doing curbside pickups and stuff like that. So there's some interesting things going on, and how you can get your wine, So, what are we looking at? Are most restaurants starting to open up? Do you know when tasting rooms will be open?
Sure.
Should I ask?
We have 3. You're fine. We have 357 bar and grill, and right now I believe they're at 30% capacity for people to go in. For a lot of the other eateries, they are doing pickup or curbside or outside dining. And then with regard to the wineries and tasting rooms, right now it's on the docket, if I can use that word, with the county. They actually put in for their opening of phase 2 here in Mesa County, so they're waiting to hear back from the state. But if that happens, we're hoping that we can open up everybody at 50%, regardless of the type of business. So, but for the time being, at the wineries and tasting rooms, you can buy retail. They aren't doing the tastings as you had mentioned, but the retail is available.
All right, and honestly, just buy the wine. Just go buy it because it's good from what we've experienced. And just go buy it.
We did the tasting for you.
I know. No, but here's the deal.
Put your money where your mouth is and just buy it. Yeah, I like your style.
Yeah, just buy it. And that's the thing, because it's also supporting small business, and I'm just one of those people that I'll just keep hammering away on that, because we really need to. If we don't support the businesses that are closed now, when you don't want to lose your wine. Are you kidding me? You come on, go.
No, don't make me sad.
Yeah. That's
and the interesting
rude.
part of that is even the wineries. I mean, they're all families. They're owned and operated and ran by locals, and their employees are locals. And without them, we don't have a community. So whether it's our retail stores downtown, our restaurants, or our wineries, they're all part of the community. So it's vital for us, especially us locals, to shop locally and to support these locally owned and operated businesses, but especially for the tourists. And we really appreciate their dollar and their time and their word of mouth when they talk about Palisade and spread the word to their friends and family.
Yeah, it's a slice of paradise in Palisade. Peaches paradise. That's what you get here. So, Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. Again, the chamber website is Palisade.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet. Yep. And PalisadeCoc.com. They've got their office is right downtown, so you can get all kinds of brochures. And if you're traveling in business, they have rooms to, where you can, set up your computer and get some work done, a little mini conference room, and
awesome.
they've got gifts. Yeah, this is a huge deal. Trust me. As we travel, you need a place sometimes where you need internet, you need to get to work, and they have it. The other thing you were talking, is it visitpalisade.org for the Visitor Bureau, the Tourism Board for folks?
Yeah, you can actually go to visitpalisade.com.
Oh, .com. I don't know why I got the .org in there, but so visitpalisade.com as well. So check both websites out. As you know, Nancy and I, we feel it's like over in such a small area. Yet it's not small. It's spread out. But it's a happy overwhelm. It's like exciting. We already know we want to come back. So everyone, I hope you get out here if you haven't been here. And if you have been here, you need to come back. So it's time, y'all. Thank you so much, Andrew. Take care, and we'll see you around town.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Nancy. I look forward to hanging out with you more, and enjoy yourselves while you're here on the Western Slope.
Oh, yes, we will. Wine in hand. All right. Take care.
Excellent. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.